That morning, it was time to leave Fairbanks and head to Anchorage. Obviously, the roads had improved greatly since Coldfoot.
So everybody, the BMW is not happy, and I'm unsure why, but it is really, really shaky. You can probably hear it as well. I'm on a complete smooth road. There isn't even any snow, and it's horrendous.
Of course, this really was quite a small issue, so it really wasn't worth stopping for. The road between Fairbanks and Anchorage was a lot easier than the roads I've driven on previously. This was a busy, well-travelled road with many other cars. Braking down here just wouldn't be a problem. There's so many people and the infrastructure's great. A few hours later, I stopped in the petrol station and decided to find out what the problem with the car was.
You want some? I'll give it you. Now it's only -8.5, so it's positively tropical, but none of the ice has melted in the wheels. Because the problem goes away when I'm under 60 miles an hour, I wonder if it's just throwing the balance off of the wheels. It would make sense. If you look inside the wheel, there's just ice everywhere.
After knowing nothing was majorly wrong with the car, I continued the drive down to Anchorage. It was, however, quite noisy. It sounded like this for the whole 6-hour journey. Apart from that, it was a really pleasant drive. The car even ticked over 238,000 miles. That's nearly the mileage to the moon. That afternoon, I arrived at my hotel in Anchorage. It was quite an interesting place. Part of it had been on fire. The car parked on the right of me had all its windows put through, and the one on the left of me had been all smashed up. I didn't really have too much hope for what this place would be like inside.
So this is a weird one. This is the weirdest hotel I've ever stayed in. There's water everywhere. But the water doesn't just end there. It's on a sink. And on top of the toilet. I can't decide if that's slightly yellow. There's also buckets outside the room. Not a good start, eh? Help me. Save me from this place. Today's quite a big day for the old BMW. I'm going to take it to BMW Anchorage, as I feel BMW USA could be quite interested in this. However, the boot is frozen, and I need to get into the boot. I need to get into the boot because I feel like I should at least vacuum it. So I've never had a frozen shut boot before. It's been frozen for 4 days, to be honest. Huzzah! That's all it needed. Now it's squishy again. Now it works.
As you can imagine, it wasn't just the inside that was dirty. The whole car was absolutely filthy. It turns out, driving thousands of miles across North America can get your car quite dirty. I thought it would be also best to clean the exterior before taking it over to BMW. But before washing it, I thought it'd be a good idea to have a look at the rear suspension, see how that was holding up after the trip to Coldfoot.
The spring hasn't snapped or anything. The drop link is all fine. And the shock absorber bolt has stayed in this time, which is good. The thing I have noticed though is the wheel weights have just vanished from this rear tyre. It's no longer shaking like it was when
This is all just full of ice. It's fine now, but I'm thinking I might as well get these rebalanced for what it'll cost. The other side's also fine. The spring, drop link and shock absorber are all fine. The only thing I have noticed is that the pinion seal has started leaking from the differential, but that doesn't particularly worry me. If it's leaking a little bit of fluid, it's not a big leak, so I think it's okay. After giving the car a quick wash, it was time to head over to BMW in Anchorage. I actually believe this is BMW's most northern dealership in the whole world. You can't polish a turd, everybody, but you can roll it in glitter. Like the day it came out of the factory, everybody. Look at that. It's like a new car. Maybe they'll get confused and put it in the showroom. So, I went into the BMW car park and then found myself just getting stared at because there was a little European car meet going on. And obviously, a right-hand drive BMW 3 Series is quite the thing, actually. So now they've invited me out and we're going on a car cruise. So I guess I'm off to BMW tomorrow instead. Meeting these guys was really cool because obviously, being locals, they know some really good areas around Anchorage. As we headed down Turnagain Arm, it was really cool to see so many European cars in one place. Turnagain Arm was named by Captain James Cook. Like me, Captain Cook was also a Yorkshireman that explored the Arctic. Although Captain Cook does have a statue of himself in Anchorage, I have more subscribers on YouTube. The E46 diesel was never sold in North America, so Dawson and Eric found it a very interesting car. Whoa! Diesel.
It's like a diesel cut. It's still the same shift pattern. It's just not what
Dude,
yeah,
that's
so
fucking weird. Man.
This is weird, bro.
So, in an interesting turn of events, I'm in a highly modified BMW E30.
So like I was saying earlier,
This thing's loud.
the tack lights don't work at all.
Oh, the tack lights don't work.
Yeah.
Okay, no problem.
So, you know, you're just kind of driving blind a little.
It's really weird following my car. This thing is loud and it is fast. So this has the gearbox from an E90, which ironically he shipped from London in the UK, and it has a swapped engine from a different BMW, which I'll find out more about, but it is fast. So right now we're just going to go and see this guy's collection of E30s. He's got a couple. But it's like the Alaskan version of me, really, isn't it? It's quite the thing.
It's a hodgepodge of like 3 different engines.
You've done a good job of it, though.
Yeah, it's solid.
Which engine did you say is in it?
It's an M52 B30.
And what did you think of a diesel 320D?
It is so smooth. It is extremely smooth. I love it. I really want to get one of those so bad. Just, oh my god, I want one.
I think my next buy is going to be like the next M Sport wagon that they bring to the US is going to be what my next buy is going to be.
So this is a 325iX.
Yeah.
That is an incredibly rare find.
It's an all-wheel drive E30.
Yeah.
In front of it's my 1 Series, and then behind that is another iX.
So you got 2 iXs.
2 iX coupes, yeah.
Cool. And then, of course, just...
A bunch of parts, extra parts.
What is this?
This is a 1970 Chevrolet Chevelle Malibu.
Cool.
With a 350 in it and an automatic turbo 400 transmission.
You've got E30 parts everywhere.
Yeah, I've got camshafts up here. I've got the head and the valve cover over there for an M50 non-Vanos.
A washer tank.
Water tanks, like trim plastics, wiring harnesses,
Door seals.
air boxes,
Springs.
crankshaft right there, right beneath you.
So all these...
E30 dash right here.
Yeah.
E30 seats, E46 M3 seat.
So all these bits are just E30 bits?
A lot of it, yeah.
Except for the
The motor's on the stand right there.
that's a M50 block.
And the only reason this garage is so crazy is because actually, like, I just had the roof replaced. So the whole interior has to be, like, redone.
After having a look around Dawson's BMW collection, it was time to go see Eric's. I was interested to see what Dawson would think of the E46, so I rode shotgun in the front.
This feels so wrong, but so right in so many ways.
So what's it like driving?
It's a very pleasurable experience.
It's a very pleasurable experience.
Yeah.
There we go, everybody. The high mileage, 580-pound BMW is a very pleasurable experience. It's actually kind of cool because
Well, we can't get them as cheap as you guys can.
no, and you're doing something that Americans can't do until another 5 years when this is impossible.
Yeah. What a unique experience that is.
That is quite a unique experience.
In itself, you know.
This is my collection of BMWs.
Wow.
So that's an E60 iX.
Uh-huh.
That's got a 6-speed, which is a rare spec for over here. Like
That is a rare spec. What, so this is a 6-speed manual 535i?
yeah,
X-Drive.
X-Drive. Yeah.
That's pretty special.
It just has a misfire that I still haven't sorted out yet.
That's a shame.
Another gray market import E30.
Wow.
It has like an AC Schnitzer body kit on it. Something similar.
It's got pretty nice cloth seats in there too.
What engine is it?
This is an M20.
Oh,
Yeah.
325.
Yes.
Yeah. But I got it really cheap.
How much?
$500.
I paid $500 for this.
You pay $500.
Which is unheard of here now. Like,
That's unheard of
anywhere.
anywhere.
Yeah.
I bought this literally like 4 months ago. Yeah.
This was $500 4
Yeah.
months ago.
Yeah.
And we didn't have a key for the ignition.
Yeah,
so
we don't
then
have
we had
a key for
to.
it yet.
Meeting Dawson and Eric was fun. The next morning before leaving, I even got a chance to drive Dawson's 325i X-Drive, something I never thought I'd have the chance at doing.
Intake.
This thing was cool.
I like.
He even had studded winter tyres on it. My time in Alaska was over. It was time to head back south and decide what I was going to do with the E46. So, I'm really beginning to worry about my ability to do basic mechanical stuff. The back end is clunking again. So logically, I've checked this shock absorber, and the repair that I did in Canada is working. So let's have a look at the other side. How? Now this side's come off. How? Like, how? There's no wonder it's bouncy. So once again, in the Home Depot car park, I just can't believe it. I checked it yesterday morning. All the suspension was fine. I just don't understand it. So, there's the problem. The shock absorber is bent. I really should stop overloading it constantly. But I sort of need to go tomorrow morning because I need to beat the snow, so I guess put it back on and let's see what happens. These are imperial size nuts and bolts because this is America. $1.69 to fix this side of the car.
So it's just as simple as fastening it all back together. All back together, but as you can see, this shock absorber is pretty bent. This must have happened last night when there was 4 of us in the car, plus all my stuff. And obviously the car doesn't like 4 blokes and all of my tools, spare parts, and all my gear. I think I need to carry less weight. I think it's safe to say, before this car's next trip, I am gonna have to sort the rear suspension out properly. Ultimately though, it's not like I have far to go on a broken shock absorber. Anchorage to Vancouver, that's only like driving London to South Morocco, so it's fine. This could be interesting.
The next morning, I began the long drive back south. As expected, there had been quite a lot of snowfall overnight, so once again I was driving on snowy, icy roads in the dark.